thatmovieguyUK.
Okay, so this isn't Venice, and it's definitely not my pool table kitchen place. I'm back home. I had a blast at Venice Film Festival, but the Venice video reviews will continue from here. I'm not putting anything in particular order, I'm just reviewing whatever I feel like talking about, and then hopefully all 17 reviews will be out. So, nice. Dragged Across Concrete was a film that was out of competition at Venice Film Festival, and it is directed by S.Craig, who has made Bone Tomahawk and Brawl in Cell Block 99. He made like a lot of scripts and stuff, and nobody really wanted to make his films for a very long time, and eventually he actually got to make his own movies, and we love them. Bone Tomahawk was bloody, cannibalistic, and just over the top, and Brawl in Cell Block 99 was probably one of my favourite films of last year, and I could not believe what I was watching sometimes. Dragged Across Concrete is the story of two policemen who are on multiple ends of the spectre. Mel Gibson, who is an agent detective who hasn't really gone far in his life after various issues, and Vince Vaughn is a promising and budding young detective who is on the prime of his life with a good relationship and is about to get engaged. After a stakeout in a drug dealer's house, they are caught on tape being a bit brutish towards this fiend who is trying to supply drugs into the school chains, and they get suspended because the news are branding them as racists. This infers them to go on a quest to make money on the side by observing a basic robbery that was gonna be full of a lot of gold bullion. They follow this, and a interesting heist begins, and a lot of dark and sinister secrets are about to unfold within this very long slow burn journey. Zala is a master of the slow burn. Dragged Across Concrete may not be his best film, but is a very interesting, heavy, thematic film, and it is a very 2 hour and 40 minute blast of tenseness, along with not as much gore, but it's good. I think what's always good about Zala is he takes his time to introduce the characters to us. We get a good hour of introduction to Gibson, we get a good hour of Vince Vaughn, we learn more about their lives, we learn more about the other protagonists within this story, and you understand why they're doing it, and that is quintessential to these kind of movies, because without real conviction, you just have a very basic heist action movie, and I don't like that. Zala really just takes his time, even with scenes that build up to an important scene. There is a scene when the bank robbery is happening and you get 10 minutes of a woman who is basically about to die, but we learn more about her life prior to this death. And some people may find it pointless. I think it's necessary because it gives it a lot more emotion, it actually gives it a lot more soul, and this is not the type of stuff you see in these kind of films, and I like it. This is the least goriest of the three films from Zala. Obviously, don't get me wrong, there is some gore, including opening of body parts and hand losses and blood, but it is nothing like Brawl in Cell Block and Bone Tomahawk, trust me. It is very tame. What's also interesting about the film is that Zala actually challenges the media and how they perceive policemen, celebrities, general members of the public, because a piece of footage doesn't really give you the full context of what is actually happening, and Zala really does challenge you to think, well, if you actually see a newspaper footage with no audio or no real description, you're going to believe whatever the newsreels are going to tell you. This isn't obviously saying that all cops are good or anything like that, but what I'm trying to say is he really is challenging news outlets and how we perceive imagery without actual full judgmentation and full fact. And that is a very interesting kind of angle. He doesn't really follow it too much, but it is one point that I really thought, I was like, okay, this has a poignancy to it, and it's really worth exploring a bit more, I think. I would say the only issue with this film is, and I know that Zala's movies are very long anyway, but 2 hours and 40 is a bit too much. It just goes in and out of pace a bit too often. You kind of get a bit bored in some elements, but the next second there's a massive adrenaline rush that you just didn't really expect or know what was actually going to happen. And it really just helps it. It just gives it that fifth gear, but it just pulls back too many times, and that's its only major flaw, I would say. The actual end sequence of this whole heist journey is insane. You are in this massive cargo area, there's nobody around, and some crazy ass shizzle is going on. I'm not going to spoil it obviously for you because that's not my style, but when it comes to the finale, you'll be like, whoo, I can breathe now, literally. Also, what is good is that there's a good juxtaposition of story here, because I haven't really told you about the other character in this film, and I'm not going to say too much, but you have two opposite ends of the pole here. You have an African American character who's just come out of prison, he has no money, his brother is disabled, and you have the two coppers by Gibson and Vaughn. And it's interesting how they come across each other in a way, but I think it's a great perspective from Zala. It's not like you hate either or. You admire what they're doing to some essence, even though theft is bad, but it just makes it a lot more even and equal pairing. And that's the overall message that you get from Zala, is that crime may be a bad thing, but with reason people are pushed to their limits, and the excessiveness of this heist journey culminates in a very great and powerful ending. My review is on moviemarket.co.uk, and it is also on my Letterboxd, and if you want to see any of my tweets from Venice or anything that I'm up to in the next month or so, because LFF is coming and I need to plan LFF. Oh my god, it's just piling up. Anyway, please check out Dragged Across Concrete if you can when it comes out. I'm not actually sure when it's coming out, there's no trailer or anything yet, but I would implore any Zala fan or anybody that wants to be introduced to S.Craig Zala to watch Dragged Across Concrete. And obviously, as I say on this channel, Dio, danke, obrigado, merci beaucoup, arigato, dankeschön, bitteschön, all the shins. And obviously, never change.